So I'm going to really be talking about this movie from really just like a movie going perspective. No historical context, no historical accuracy, I'm sure, in this film. But let's talk about it anyways. Comment down below, what did you think of Ridley Scott's film, Napoleon? What is your favorite Ridley Scott movie? Let me know with your thoughts and comments down below. Don't forget to click that like button and also subscribe to my channel for more content. Thank you so much for doing that. Today we're talking about one of my anticipated movies of the year of this fall is the 2023 historical action drama biopic film, Napoleon. A historical epic film that details the life and the checkered rise and fall of French Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte, his relentless journey to power, and his military finesse, which is all told through the prism of his addictive and often volatile relationship with his one true love, his wife, Josephine.
If you look down, you'll see a surprise. Once you see it, you will always want it.
I'm a massive Ridley Scott fan. He has directed one of my favorites, if not my favorite film of all time, Gladiator. And of course, he's a master director of films such as Alien, Blade Runner, Black Hawk Down, Thelma and Louise, Kingdom of Heaven, and a whole other slew of great, sometimes not so great, but most times great films. I'm a big fan of Ridley Scott. He's probably in my top 3 or 4 directors of all time. So what did I think of this film? It was pretty good. I actually am a big lover of historical epics. Ridley Scott is obviously a master at historical epics and great fight scenes and battles and massive sweeping stories, beautiful landscapes, picturesque production design. That is no different than this time around with this film, Napoleon. Like, the directing is amazing. Ridley Scott is one of the greats. Of course it's going to be amazing. I wasn't expecting anything less. This is one of his better films, I would say, of the last, 5-6 years. This movie is gorgeous to look at. It is stunning. The production design is magnificent. Wow. Ridley Scott is one of those directors that always has these beautiful, almost artsy, picturesque design and tone to his movies that just absolutely shines in this film of Napoleon. The setting and the locations where they film in, the beautiful artistic European architecture and rooms, it's just gorgeous.
My best work, I must admit. Simple, elegant, yet bold.
The cinematography is awesome. It is dark at times, and at the same time, it's also very bright and beautiful and, like I said, picturesque. Next thing is the battle scenes when they do happen. There's about 3 or 4 battle scenes in this film that are some of the best I've seen in years. The Battle of Waterloo, Toulon, and a couple of other ones are just stunning. And you really get to see his military might and his mind and the way that he thinks. I don't know if this movie really dives deep into the character of Napoleon. That was really to me, one of the downfalls of this movie. I'm still not sure what Ridley Scott and the filmmakers are trying to say about Napoleon in this movie. They're saying he's a bunch of these things, but there's no really point of view in this film. There's no sort of perspective. It's just kind of like the life and death of Napoleon and what he did and some of the, the greatest hits and highlights of his life. And I don't know if that necessarily makes this movie a great story overall. It's a little bit messy at parts, and it feels just like they fast forward through, years of his life at times. And it's like, whoa, I almost would have wanted this movie to be like a specific time that this movie looks at. Maybe it's like his rise to becoming the emperor. Something like that, where instead this is like a run-of-the-numbers biopic kind of movie and just the life and death of Napoleon and what he was maybe like. Again, emotionally, it feels removed and away from any sort of an emotional resonance, and it just feels sort of like we're watching these figures on screen. So it just doesn't make for a great story overall. The other one is Joaquin Phoenix as Napoleon. Now, it's not very good when Joaquin Phoenix, the star of this film, 10 days before they start filming the movie, comes up to you Ridley Scott is like, I have no idea what I'm doing with this character. And you can kind of see it on screen. This is like an anti-performance performance. I also felt the emotional distance from this character, and I didn't feel like he quite nailed it. Now, I don't really care that this movie's historically inaccurate. I don't care that, you know, they have British accents and American accents when they're supposed to be playing French people. He just was fine in the movie. I don't think he's going to get nominated for an Oscar. I don't think this is an Oscar-winning performance, one that should even be recognized for him. For me, the star of this movie is Vanessa Kirby. She's fantastic. I thought she was amazing as Josephine. What a role. And she stole every single scene she was in. I thought she outshined Joaquin Phoenix in this film, which I didn't think she was actually gonna do. So I totally think that Vanessa Kirby should be nominated for another Oscar again, and has a very complicated relationship with Napoleon. And I thought showed that really well in her character and character development. This movie was actually kind of funny at parts. Like, there's some really weird out of left field humor in this film that I did not expect.
I don't get it.
There's some real like psychosexual stuff in this film between him and her and their volatile relationship, and then just some things that you're like, wow, I can't believe he did that, and some things that are shocking. What is happening? So there is that aspect about this film that makes it interesting and captivating and intriguing to watch. But for me, I can't quite say this is like a masterpiece movie. I wouldn't say that this is even in Ridley Scott's top 10 films. Ultimately, I wanted just a bit more of a stronger point on Napoleon. It was 2.5 hours. I think it was mostly paced fairly well. There was only about 15 minutes at the end of the film where I thought it dragged a bit. It is an entertaining historical epic. I love these kind of films. Like, this is my kind of movie. So I do have a little bit of a soft spot for this film, so I might be taking it a little bit easier on this movie in the end, and I do recognize that. So there's a lot of great things going for it. Ultimately, how it's glued together maybe didn't quite work, and the glue starts to come undone at parts. But I did have an entertaining time. I think this is a great historical epic. I think if you like these kind of films, you will enjoy Napoleon. Does a lot of it work? Yes. Does all of it work in the film? No. No. Before I get my final thoughts and grade on this film, make sure you click that like button and subscribe to my channel for more content. Let me know what you thought of the film Napoleon. Did you love this movie? What is your favorite Ridley Scott film? And don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to my channel for more content. So I'm gonna go ahead and give Napoleon an A-. Thank you so much for checking out Mr. Teach Film Preach. Come back and check out some other reviews like Disney animated musical film Wish, The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and Next Goal Wins, the new Taika Waititi film. Stay focused, stay awesome, and as always, let's get taught.